Hi everyone, and welcome to Eve Talk, your weekly look at the markets in Eve Online. I'm your host, delonewolf, and let's head over to the couch. So once again, in a few hours, it's going to be the final weekend for the Alliance tournament. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to be like. We might just see some other devs come on the show as well this time. So hopefully, we might get some extra information, maybe about like patch Odyssey 1.1 stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, CCP Falcon or someone is going to have to also draw the winner for the Sanctuary Picture contest. So maybe we get a chance, a very small chance for some nice prizes there as well. So yeah, I'm really excited and I can't wait to start watching the rest of the Alliance tournament. As always, before I really get started, let me quickly check that the stream is doing okay. And that looks okay, so that's nice. And then have a quick look at the... I'll try and keep an eye on the reactions there as well. So if you have questions, feel free to post them. I'll try to follow them. Keep in mind that there is a delay as well, so I might just not be able to respond to them right away. Anyways, we are here for another look at the market in EVE Online. And I think we'll have an interesting time looking at the command chips because apparently they are going to get rebalanced in the next patch as well. So that's really exciting, really some interesting stuff coming there as well, especially for the EOS, which apparently is going to become a drone ship. I really like that. But we'll start off with the usual, the minerals. Let's see if their downtrend continues. Maybe have a quick look here at prices in station 494. That's pretty much the same as last week. Although the general downtrend here is still very much visible on the chart. As you can see, it broke 5 ISK. It's trying to hold down here now, 494 for the sell orders in JITA, but I think you can clearly see on the 1-year chart what the general trend is. So let's have a quick look then at pyrite here as well. Yeah, still going down. The tail end of the chart could be a little bit more interesting right here. You can see the 5-day moving average broke 12 ISK. But at the tail end here, you can see it moving back up and starting to push the 20-day moving average back up again. So it might just become the bottom, you know, that 12 ISK. If people react to that enough. Yep, there you go. Prices in JITA still 12.10 for the sellers and buyers 12.03. So no margin whatsoever, but it does look like it's going to have a hard time breaking 12 ISK, which I think is good news, because if it would go even lower, we'd probably be heading for 10 soon. So that would not be a lot of fun for the miners. So this could just be a trend break right here, which could indicate that finally minerals could be destabilizing after several weeks or even several months of going down. Let's have a quick look at Mixalon if there's something similar happening here. Obviously on the 1-year chart here, you know, 60 ISK for the beginning of the year and then continuous downtrend heading even as low as below 40 and towards 35, but it once again doesn't look like it's gonna break that. So let's have a look. 35.56 for the sell orders in station. And again, if I go to the 3-month chart, we can once again see the inflection point here right at the end. Just 5-day moving average just broke 35 or 36 and then the market said no, that's low enough, and it's heading back up, stopping the relentless downtrend of the 20-day moving average chart right here at the tail end. So really interesting. We might just be seeing the bottoms for minerals, which would be very good news, I think, for miners. I'll have a quick look at the other ones then as well. No, that's actually technetium, that's not what I wanted. Noxium, yeah, slow downtrend, and I'm not seeing a stop on the 5-day moving average just yet. Megasite, yeah, still there. The 5-day moving average clearly still below 20-day moving average and still slowly moving downwards. Isogen, here it's coming really close. And then maybe Zydrine, yeah, that one's definitely still going down. It could just break 700 as well. It definitely is. Price is in station 688 already. So the downtrend for Zydrine is not over yet. But for the easy high-sec minerals, titanium, pyrite and mixalon, we are seeing an inflection point right here at the tail end of the chart, and so it could just mean that we've seen the bottom for these minerals. Pretty interesting. I think a lot of miners have been waiting for that for a long time. Just look at how profitable it used to be to mine for Mixalon, and now it's cut in half almost the price. So yeah, really good, I think, to see that might stop. Let's have a quick look at the impact of this downtrend and maybe this possible bottom here in the Tech 1 ship market. So the Drakes, it's a bit more violent than the mineral chart because of nerfs to the Drakes, but here you can also see this downtrend, which I think is in a large part due to the mineral downtrend as well. Well, it's looking for a bottom at 44 million ISK for the Drake. Current price in station is actually already 45.7 million. So this 5-day moving average could just start moving back up. And then we would once again see the similarities between the mineral chart and then a small delay in the Tech 1 ship chart. But how these two are very much correlated. You know, if the minerals go down, Tech 1 ships become cheaper. If the minerals go back up, Tech 1 ships tend to go back up as well. Let's have a look then here at the Maelstrom. That one is definitely still heading down, heading towards 175 on the chart. Let's have a look at the 1-year chart. As you can see, definitely a low for the year. So, and definitely a mirroring, except for the first part here before the winter expansion, a mirroring of what's been happening in the mineral market, but with a nice delay of a few weeks to a few months. Let's see prices for the Maelstrom, 178, whereas the chart is having it go. No, could actually be the price we're looking at there as well. 178, yeah, maybe a bit up here as well. So yeah, really interesting how we could actually be seeing the bottoms both in the minerals and in the Tech 1 ships in the upcoming week. Really nice, I think, showing how this Tech 1 market and the mineral market are very in basically a symbiotic relationship. You know, one goes down, it pulls the other one down as well. So I think that's a nice showing of this mechanic in the Tech 1 market. So that's really pretty interesting. But let's move on to the Tech 2 markets, and I think this one could become really interesting as well here. The command chips, which are getting rebalanced. If you don't know where to get the rebalancing information, maybe I'll quickly show that. So let's go for the home page and then just go for the forums. And at the bottom somewhere you have features and ideas discussions. And here you can find a thread on command chips. Keep in mind the warfare links, mid links and gang bonuses change as well. And there's also some changes to local armor and shield repair modules. But yeah, command chips, I've always been looking at those for trading opportunities. And as you can see, a lot of this stuff is going to change. I have not really had time to fully analyze all of this information. One thing that I do find interesting is right here, the EOS, because I myself know a lot about, have a lot of skills in drones. And so the EOS gets 125 bandwidth, plus 50 and 250 drone bay, plus 100. So it will be able to field 5 large drones or 5 sentry drones, just like the Ishtar. So finally, a battle cruiser that could become on par with the Ishtar there. Very interesting, I think, for solo wormhole work. And this EOS, yeah, and we have here again that typical 10% bonus to drone damage and hit points as a bonus, and also 7.5 bonus to heavy drone tracking and micro drive velocity. So yeah, it could just be useful to take 5 Ogre 2s, 5 Hammerheads, 5 Hobgoblins, maybe some other useful drones, maybe some salvage drones, stuff like that, and take that ship into a wormhole. I think it could be really pretty damn interesting to finally have like a Tech 2 battle cruiser that can also field 5 heavy drones and do the drone damage there as well. I really like this change, but if you want all the details, just go to the features and ideas discussion forum and check it out. But my brother already said that there should be a significant impact on the market of the command chips. So let's have a look here. Command chips, Amar. The Absolution, not really seeing that one move too much, honestly. 1 year chart right there. It's not at the bottom for the year just yet. And here, not really seeing that move. A bit strange. Let's have a look at the Damnation. That one's going back up. 250. I'm not seeing anything really that wrong, you know. Just like we had an inflection point here, just before June, we've got this here as well. So if you can still pick some up below 250, you might just get selling opportunities at 300 for this one. And yes, buy order still at 248. So at the moment in this Damnation chart and this Absolution chart, I'm not really seeing anything all that out of place. And to me, this looks like the Damnation is actually trade worthy at the moment. Try and pick some up below 250. You'll probably be able to sell a few with some nice profits. Let's have a look at the Nighthawk then. There's a movement right there. That's a bit more interesting. Definitely the 5-day moving average moving above the 20-day moving average. That's going to pull the price up. This is in fact a jump of probably 15 million or something like that. So I would put this one actually, well, no, it's probably too late to buy them at 192 for the buyers. So it's probably too late to buy them close to 180. Yeah, this one might just be going up due to the changes. Let's have a look here at the Vulture. Pretty flat. I'm not really seeing the big market movements after the announced changes in the command chip class. So yeah, this is just pretty flat. Quick look at the 1 year chart. It's actually on the high. So for the Vultures, I wouldn't be looking to buy. Instead, if you have some, I'd look to sell. Astartes. Ooh, that's more interesting. Look at that. We actually have data points as high as 260 coming from below 200 million. Let's have a look at prices in Jita Station. Buy orders 191, sell orders 250. That's a 60 million ISK margin in the Astartes. This 5-day moving average has got to be going up. That's just not, yeah, there you go. That's not possible otherwise. Yeah, this is definitely due to the announced changes right here. That's just too big of a jump to be anything else, honestly. That's going from 190 to above 220. So that's like 30 million ISK jump in the Astarte. It's already pulling 20-day moving average up. And current sell prices are at 250. So yeah, I doubt you'll be able to get any of those buy orders filled anymore. It's just going to start going up. But yeah, if you had been able to buy some of the Astarte, keep in mind, you know, on the 1 year chart, it was actually pretty close to an all-time low and well below 200 million. So if you had been following this market closely, the Astarte was definitely buy worthy just on where the chart was at the moment. Consider these changes. You could just have made an easy 50 million ISK on every Astarte you bought there. Because of those changes. So that's really actually a pretty damn big jump. So I don't think you'll be able to get those buy orders anymore. Currently we're looking at 251 for Astartes, and this is in my opinion undoubtedly due to the announced changes in the command chips. The EOS, I would expect something similar. Yeah, the Galente command chip seems to have gotten a nice buff. If I look at this reaction, look at that. 220 heading for 280. That's 60 million extra. Oh my god, someone bought all of them and put them back up. The lowest sell order is 344 for the EOS, no, and I wanted at least one to take into the wormholes or something like that. Yeah, for the Galente command chips, really interesting. You could have bought them probably around 220, 230, something like that. Look at those sell prices. That's crazy. You could have made hundreds and hundreds of millions of ISK right here. I'd say more than 100 million ISK on every EOS if those actually sell. So, and it looks to me like they do, because we have data points right here, 320, 340. So that is going to be really interesting to see if this is actually going to shoot straight up to 340, because that's where someone decided it was going to be the new sell order price. Or if this is going to correct a little bit after the market settles from the changes. But yeah, Galente command chips, that's where the big money was with the announced changes to the command chips. That EOS chart is unbelievable. Also, they'll get new, one of the two command chips every time is going to get a new model. So if I'm not mistaken, the EOS is actually going to get the Myrmidon model, and then with another paint job on there. So it's actually going to make a lot of the old videos quite confusing when you have command chips in them, but alright. The Claymore moving up a little bit as well, so that could be due to the changes. But I would say not as drastically as the Gallente command chips. But yeah, definitely moving up. Current prices here 220. So yeah, that's not the 340 we're seeing in the EOS, but 205. So 15 million ISK margin on this one. Feels pretty normal. Doesn't feel like it's moved that much, but definitely going up as well. So if you had been able to pick some up. Below 200 right there, some data points, you might have been able to do that. You could have made some money in this one as well. And then the Sleipnir is going up as well, I would say. Yeah, definitely going up here as well. Even data points almost to 280. Uptrend, if you've been able to buy them at 230, that's looking okay. Current price is in station 290. Yeah, so the Sleipnir is definitely also one that's been bought up and then tried to sell them at a much higher price here. So Sleipnir and then the Gallente ones are definitely the command chips that have moved quite a lot due to the announced changes. Really, really interesting. And what the hell is going on here? So they actually changed something to the live control room of my of the live stream, so I hope everything is okay. Yeah, it actually looks alright, so I'll have to look into that about set your start points. And so unfortunately it doesn't really show me all of the stats correctly and doesn't seem to update and doesn't seem to update the comments all too well, but okay. And so Unknown is telling me that there are no EOS sell orders in Dixie at the moment. Yeah, someone has definitely bought them all up and have been trying to resell them at an enormously high price. But keep in mind the changed EOS, because it becomes a drone boat, is going to be quite unique, and probably the best battle cruiser drone ship out there, and that's always going to be very popular for solo PvE content. So it's quite normal, I think, that they've been buying up all the EOSs and that they expect a lot more demand for these, because they're becoming quite unique in the battle cruiser class, being able to field those 5 large drones. So really, really nice there. Okay, moving on then, I guess we'll have a quick look at the tech tree market. A quick barometer of that is always the melted nanoribbons, 5.4 million. Is that one still going down? Yeah, that one is definitely still going down. Look at the 1-year chart. It's pretty volatile market, these melted nanoribbons, which you can only get from sleepers in wormhole space. And now it's come from a top of almost 6.5 million. It's at 5.5. Well, if it breaks that, we might just see a bottom. If you look at the average for the entire year here, it could be close to 5.5 million. If it goes any lower than that, I'd be looking back into stocking up on them and waiting for another sell opportunity closer to 6 million. But yeah, it's a really volatile market here, as you can see from the chart. And yeah, it's maybe a bit of a barometer of the tech tree market, although the ships, they seem to be doing... Oh, look. Look at that low-key spike here. That's still due to the war, but yeah, they're settling really low, the tech tree ships. The low-key 170. Have a quick look at the Tengu here. Tengu, yeah, 175, also definitely still pretty low. 5-day moving average actually breaking 175. Current prices in Jita Station just below that. So yeah, tech tree ships, they're at an all-time low. Keep in mind, you know, with the command ships, I've been keeping an eye on it a little bit for trading opportunities. At some point, the tech tree ships are also going to get their rebalancing, and depending on what CCP decides to do with it, some of them could become really, really popular and powerful or useful in a certain niche. that might just increase the amount to them a lot. So for maybe a very long-term investment, you could look, in my opinion, into the tech tree markets, into the tech tree ships. But you know, they are at an all-time low, and of course we don't know when or how the rebalancing of tech tree ships is going to take place. And it's just not a hot market at the moment, but maybe for a long-term investment, you know, if you can pick up some Lokis, let's have a quick look at that. Some Lokis at below 170 on some buy orders, you know, you could actually make a decent investment for the long term. So that's how I would be looking at the tech tree market at the moment. Just at some point they'll get rebalanced, just like they're doing tech 2 ships at the moment. We just don't know when or how. So we could even see capital ships being done first, and then it could take 2 years or something like that. Don't expect any quick money in this, because the market is really bad for the entire year already. But maybe in a long-term investment, you know, it is possible. So if that's how, if you have a long horizon, this could be an interesting market to invest some liquid ISK in, I think. So that's really, yeah, the tech tree market in general is actually like that at the moment. You know, it's very low, but who knows what comes longer term. Anyways, we'll have a quick look at some more general items. Obviously, technetium still tanked. Galente fuel blocks still trying to hold on around 14k, but it's actually going lower here again. 3-month chart, look at that. It's actually broken 14k. Yeah, 13.55 in the station at the moment. So the whole ice change that has been done with Odyssey, where not all the ice would be supplied from HiSec anymore, just because the belts are limited now and respawn. They really haven't had that big of an effect on the fuel prices. You know, it's been up a little bit, but now it's already trending right back down. And if it goes closer to 13k, you know, the effect will have been pretty much null. So a lot of people did expect that to be really bad for the fuel block market. You can see that from the speculative bubble here, but it doesn't always work out that way. So you never know beforehand what the changes will be, what their impact will be. It's always a bit of guessing, just like in a real market. And here for the fuel blocks, yeah, they're trending, slowly trending back down towards 13k, where they were before Odyssey hit. And so obviously ice supply is not really being a bottleneck or a problem for the game right now. You know, all bosses seem to be able to get all the fuel blocks they need without any problem. Now this could perhaps change. You know, it is summer, activity is a bit lower, so towards the expansion, as more people come back into the game, this trend could change. But really the ice and the Galente fuel block and the fuel block market in general is so big that you really need like a 10-15% increase in boss activity, which is not just player activity, just to have a real influence on that. And so I think if anything happens, it's going to be very slow and gradual, and not something where you want to make some quick money. In fact, I produce these Galente fuel blocks, but I just keep them for myself in case we want to put a boss back up again, and not so much as an investment or as a money maker at the moment. It's going to be quite constant, so it's not like you're going to get anything exceptional out of the fuel block market at the moment. Really pretty stable and a pretty slow market, I think, is what we can expect here. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have any questions. I think I'll do a quick last check here. And what the hell? I am live, right? Because on my control room it actually tells me to start the stream instead of stop the stream. What the hell is that change? I'll have to look into that. So yeah, any questions? Let me quickly see. Can you take a look at the price of armor hacks? Yep. Okay, couple comments there. Hi Ravenwood. And for Trist Faber, I'll have to look at the AHACs. Yeah, sure, I'll have a quick look at those ships as well. I do hope that I'll be able to stop the stream correctly, because I do seem to have some technical difficulties with the control room at the moment, but let's have a quick look at the armor hacks. So advanced cruisers. I assume you want the heavy assault cruisers. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. So let's have a look at the sacrilege chart. Still going back up towards 200 million ISK. Prices in station 217, not bad at all. Coming from a low of 140, so that's really a really big jump for the sacrilege there. I'll have a quick look at 3-month chart just to see. Yeah, that's really going up very hard. So all those rebalanced ships are getting, it has a serious influence on the market. The Zealot not so much, you know, as you can see right here, still hovering in the 140-160 band. Current prices 153, so the Zealot not so much. Let's have a look at Cerberus here. That one's gone up, but that uptrend, it's already been going on from, I think, before the announcements here. So the jump here also feels decently limited. But yeah, 187 for the Cerberus, definitely high for the year, but I don't think the entire rise here is just due to the announced changes. A look at the Eagle, that one's gone up quite substantially, but it's already been retreating back. So it was shooting for 155 for a while, but it settled back down to 136 at the moment. So in the Eagle, looks like a bit of an overreaction by the market here. That happens as well. Let's have a look at the Demos. Up a little, but not exaggerated. I think, you know, the 20-day moving average is moving up smoothly, but not in a too huge spike in the correction here on the 5-day. Current price is 158. Ishtar, that's probably going to be a lot higher. Yeah, that definitely moved to a new price point. You see, if you can see the 5-day moving average totally take off and go quite a bit higher than even the 20-day moving average. That's a significant rise due to the changes, obviously. So current prices for the Ishtar, 178.5. Low for the year, again, close to 140. It's not as much as the Sacrilege. That one has definitely gone up quite a bit more. But a significant movement here in the Ishtar. Quick look at the 3-month chart. It's already at its top though, so looks like the market definitely says it won't really break 180 on the long term there. For the Munin, I like to have a look at that chart. Actually trending back down, so not that popular, the changes for the Munin. Current prices, yeah, 146, definitely the lower end for the heavy assault cruisers. Vagabonds, 160 probably up. Yeah, definitely up. Look at that, coming from close to 130, and now we're looking at 165 prices. So in the AHAC market, I would say general trend up for Sacrilege, Ishtar, Demos a little bit, and Vagabond. Couple ones like the Munin are not doing so hot, and yeah, the Eagle is actually doing quite well, Cerberus as well, and the Zealot. Yeah, so the Munin and the Zealot not really up that much. The other ones have gone up, but you can see that the market has found its price. Okay, thanks for the confirmation that I am live. That's good to hear. We'll just hope that that the ending of this live stream doesn't present any real problems. I don't think so. Anyways, yeah, in general, the AHAC market, it has found its current price point, considering the current known changes, you know. So even the Sacrilege chart, if I think I'll go to the 3-month, no, actually, except for the Sacrilege, that one is still really going up and still trying to find its price. I mean, 217, that's probably the most expensive one of them all. But as you can see, the Eagle has corrected from its top. The Cerberus as well has reached its top. The Demos too, the Ishtar as well. Yeah, the Munin's been going down, and then the Vagabond here too, although it's trying for a second top here. But in general, you know, people have already you know, after just a couple weeks, people have already decided, you know, how much they want to invest in what chip, and the market has already found pretty much its top and its new balance. So at the moment, it's definitely the command chips where a lot of active trading is, you know, where a lot of people are trying to compete for that profit that they can make, and whoever decided to go for the EOSs before the changes, they could have just made bank. Hundreds of millions, if not billions, have probably been made in the EOS market. Just that's just nuts to have sell orders like this all of a sudden when you have a low for the year on the chart close to 200 million. That's 150 million extra almost on every EOS there. That's just yeah, where the money was once these changes were announced. That's really a good lesson, a good incentive, I would say, for any trader. You know, always try and keep on top of the dev blogs and the dev posts, because opportunities like that, you'll find them there. If you can indeed find that one chip that changes in such a way that it will become very popular. And I think the EOS, it's the correct assumption here. If it becomes such a drone boat, the first battle cruisers to be able to field 5 heavy drones, it's going to be a popular solo ship as well for PvE content. And so I do think it's a reasonable assumption to give it a try, you know, to try and see what the market is willing to bear. And yeah, if they sell at 334 million, that just means that people are prepared to pay that much for an EOS, for a battle cruiser with 5 heavy drones. So really interesting. A huge movement in the command chip market for the Galente command chips. Not so much, as amazingly enough, for the, let's go, for the Amar, the Caldari, the Minmatar, I think it's only really the Claymore, and yeah, they've moved a little bit, but it's really Galente command chips where a lot of money has been gotten into that market, a lot of speculation, and possibly a lot of profit as well. So that's really been the big mover for this week. Quick check. Hi there, Marcus. So yeah, if you guys have anything else you want me to check, feel free to post them here. In the meantime, I will already have a quick look. Maybe I will have a quick look at the garden. What's that one been doing? Interesting. A little bit more movement. Maybe I'll quickly explain to you guys. Take 2 logistics market. You can still see it at the beginning of the year right here. Very volatile, just like the command market, with a lot of tops and a lot of bottoms. I mean, we're talking 30 million changes here in not too much time. Really great market for trading for a very long time. Unfortunately, right here you can see Odyssey and then the total flatlining of this chart. This is probably due to the Tech 1 logistics ships that became viable to bring to fleets, and thus, yeah, the competition for these Tech 2 logistics for big 0-0 fleets, it was all of a sudden gone because they had an opportunity to do something else, and thus the chart really became quite a lot more stable. You really didn't want to be actively trading into logistics Tech 2 ships anymore. But here at the end, yeah, it's tapering off right now. So if that's a general trend, I would say, yeah, not something to really invest in, but I'm a bit curious what the other ones are doing then. Let's have a look at the Basilisk here. That one's actually moving back up. So, and it has some movements, but still not really enough, I would say, to wanna. And then the Onero's gone back up. There was some movement there, but yeah, it's still not worth it, I would say. Scimitar, that one is going back down. I would say there is a bit more movement for some reason right here in the logistics market, but it's definitely not what it was before the winter expansion, where you had regular rises and drops of 30-40 million for a logistics cruiser of 100 to 150 million. That was really good for trading, but now movements are back a little bit, but it's still not enough to bring me back into the logistics market for active trading, to be honest. So I've always found that one to be a really interesting one for trading because of how much it moved. And the Tech One logistics really changed all of that. It really nuked that dynamic, made it a much more stable market because supply and demand could find each other a lot more easily during big wars or big fleet engagements, just because they had an alternative. Bring a Tech One logistics and you could do a similar job as a Tech Two there. So yeah, unfortunately, that's why I moved to the command ship market, and that one has really been moving drastically because of the announced changes now. So if there's nothing else, not really seeing it, I'm going to have a look here now at the Plex market. Let's see if that uptrend is still going on, but it doesn't actually look like it. Ooh, that's more dangerous. Look at that. I was really happy last week to see this uptrend breaking 550. 5-day moving average went way below that again, and it does look like a trend break. If the 5-day moving average breaks the 20-day moving average, that's generally a sign that we are seeing a trend break, and it's gone down now. I don't actually want to look at it. It's okay. The damage is limited, 147 for Plex in station at the moment. So I would have hoped to see closer to 155 by now, 555 by now. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And I am a bit surprised by this trend break after this rise. So this probably means that Plex are not going to start their rise towards the winter expansion just yet. This does mean, in my opinion, if you can buy a couple at buy orders, 533 lowest buy order, 13 million margin, which is perfectly normal. Looks like a stable market without really any manipulation or too much speculation going on just yet. If you can pick some up right now on buy orders, I would say, not on sell orders, but on buy orders, I think you could make a healthy investment and trying to take advantage of this temporary drop, because I do think, just like it does almost every year, that the Plexus will go back up once winter expansion stuff is being announced, and once people come back to the game, they're probably going to move back up. So yeah, if you're looking for a Plex investment, actually I would say this could be a time to look at it. If you still want to try and jump on that wagon to try and pick up a couple of Plex and be able to sell them during the winter expansion. So Black Jeopardy is still asking, are minerals still down for the week? So that was actually at the beginning of the live stream. I did check that already. I'll give a quick recap of that for you. Actually, at the moment, the high-end minerals such as Megasite, Noxium, and Zydrine, they're still trending down quite a bit. But if I look at the 3-month chart for Tritanium, 5-day moving average is crossing 20-day moving average, so we might see a bottom there. Pyrite, you can see 5-day moving average actually bumping back up from its price point. I think it was around 11.70. So definitely a good chance that we're seeing a bottom here. Mexalon, very similar. In fact, 5-day moving average is close to crossing the 20-day moving average again. So it might just be that we are seeing a bottom for the high-end minerals. For the high-sec minerals, excuse me, not the high-end ones. For the high-sec minerals, the high-end ones are actually still trending down. But in my general experience, the high-sec ones are always the first ones to do their movements. So this trend break here, it happened probably early last week, because it's already quite visible on the chart, especially on Mexalon and on Pyrite. And then if we look, the rock, that one hasn't moved in sync just yet, but the Drake, yeah, that one looks like it's found the bottom at 44 as well. And then the Maelstrom, no, that one not. So I think by next week though, or in 2 weeks time, the Tech One chips could also find their bottom, and then stuff like Megasite and Noxium as well, just because it does look like it. If Pyrite, Mexalon and Tritanium are trying to once again break the 20-day moving average, try and break the downward streak, we might just be seeing a bottom forming for minerals, in my personal opinion. You never know. I expected Plex to start their summer rise toward the winter expansion, but I was wrong on that. So keep in mind, this is all speculation, but I am seeing the forming of a bottom in the mineral market at the moment. And I think that's really good news for miners too. If there's anything else, you know, just post it. But that doesn't really look like it. And yeah, so there you go, I think. Okay, that will be it. We're actually already at 40 minutes in. I was planning to do like 30 minutes. So I'll quickly do a full recap, I think, of the general impressions. Minerals might be seeing a bottom. Plagues, unfortunately, might not be on the rise just yet, but you could just pick them up. A lot of speculation going on in the Galente command ship market, especially the EOS, which is becoming a drone ship capable of using 5 heavy drones. The hacks, a lot of them have gone up quite substantially, but it does look like a lot of them have found their tops as well, like the market is starting to stabilize on that end. Yeah, it's just a little bit of wait and see in the Tech 1 market, if they're actually going to follow the bottom that is being made, I think, in the mineral markets. So that's it for this week, guys. A quick general look at the markets in EVE Online. And I will see you all next time, and I will try and stop the stream with the new functionality that they've actually been putting in here. I'm not really sure how that's gonna work. Anyways, also don't forget, in a few hours, Alliance Tournament. Head over to twitch.tv/ccp and check it out. And thank you very much for watching, of course. I really appreciate it. Let's see if I can stop this now. Okay. Now how do I stop my stream then? So let's go back here and then back to the live control room and then press on stop.